Another work week survived. Let's talk about it. So, there were so many things that happened in this very short work week, seeing as it's Good Friday and we have the day off today. Yay! That I am just getting to a stage in life where I'm just thinking, what is any of this for? What is any of this for? I have been trying to engage within my profession externally outside of my higher education institute, and even that has come with a level of having to think about, who I'd like to share my energy with and whether I align and whether we align and all of those things. They've been wonderful opportunities. I've been so happy to be engaging in them. Um, but again, I keep coming back to my work role and the impact of my engagement in something that does feel quite aligned in terms of how that will impact me in the workspace. But anyway, that's a whole other video. I just continue to be in a space as a tokenized Black woman of color within my team, and more, I feel the impacts and the effects of this. One from, students and how they react to me in very positive ways, and see me as a almost safe space, psychologically safe space to open up to and share their frustrations, their anxieties, their concerns with. That has been something that has kept me going as I navigate this new role. I enjoy so much of my job and the teaching elements and what it entails and the day-to-day, learning of new things. I enjoy that. However, politics, shall we call it politics? Because for me, I don't even know that that is what this is at this point. But it remains the challenge. I have found myself being labeled already. I have found myself in situations where people are clearly trying to manipulate me and others. And I don't know what it is, but my level of discernment, I see everything. And that makes it very difficult because some of these behaviors, dare I say, are human nature. People try and influence you. They want you to see things the way they see them. They use certain tactics to make sure that you express things that may align with them before you realize why they're asking you to express it in the first place. They have bias. I question how much is subconscious. I question whether subconscious bias truly exists, or whether it is only subconscious because people choose not to name or address it. But again, that's a story for another time. But this week alone, short week as it's been, I have found myself feeling challenged intellectually for sure in a number of ways, both within my work role, but also within this external work that I'm doing. And it's been a positive thing, but also the push and the pull of these differing views, these different dynamics, these differing groups that I'm within. It's just so extreme. So, for example, working with, global ethnic majority people within my profession and academics, versus the academics that I work with day to day, and the views and the way in which people see and perceive things is so different. But to be in the external space has been quite validating to me, because I realize that I'm not alone in the things that I am expressing, the things that I am seeing, the concerns that I have. In fact, I'm very early into my academic career, and for many, they are so far in and have been dealing with these things for so long that they are disillusioned, not only in academia, but also within our profession. And I found that really interesting. Not surprising. It is not surprising to me at all, because I think working within these institutions as a Black woman, as a global ethnic majority person, as a tokenized individual, or one of few, there is an invisible labor that comes with it that is so very difficult to articulate to anyone who is not in that circumstance. It is unsustainable. It is unsustainable unless you are willing to lose your integrity, unless you are willing to be unethical, unless you're willing to lose yourself. Within academia, many people work part-time positions, associate lecturing. They limit their time either because they want to work in practice or within their fields, but also because I think that the environment can be quite unsustainable. Now, again, being new to academia, having only the lived experience of my own department or team, for more so team than department, I can't yet say that that is, across the board. But what I will say is that even in my early tenure, there are things that I can see that seem simple, obvious even, that don't appear to be very obvious to people who have maybe been doing this for a very long time. Again, there is nuance. Whether it isn't seen, whether it isn't obvious, that's only an assumption. But there is a definite desire to hold, to keep things as they are, to stick to the status quo, if you will. And that is just unsustainable in this modern world of higher education, where the student body is so diverse, where higher education institutes are run as a business, where global ethnic majority students and international students are essentially currency. And this is how leadership teams view students in terms of what is important. And I'm not saying that they don't view students as important outside of the financial gain that the institution receives for every student. But what I mean is the student is the consumer. They are important. The leadership team cares about the students, their experiences. And therefore, we as academics have to ensure that their experiences are positive. But as the landscape of student changes, we have mature students, We have international students. We have students with disabilities. We have students who are neurodiverse. We have students who are visually impaired, deaf, use wheelchairs, different ethnicities, different religions, different cultural backgrounds, different languages. And yet the academics remain the same, minus the odd few who trickle in, but also seem to trickle in and instantly, almost instantly, have challenges, issues, see things that shouldn't be. I'm intrigued to see where education goes in the next 20 years. I'm intrigued to see whether higher education institutes will be what they currently are. We have seen the challenges, the struggles, but I also see that there are many people who are moving away from this hierarchical view of academia, understanding that the individuals who work within these spaces are just human beings, just like the rest of us. They're just people who have been able to, for a long time, lead and shape and create epistemology and knowledge in the way that they've wanted to. And as the landscape changes, as student bodies become more diverse within the United Kingdom, perhaps the ways of doing things are not a right fit for everybody. And instead of seeing that maybe there is a need for change and a need to do things differently or to reconsider how we do things, how we look at things, instead we aim to penalize those individual students. And there are many of them. But what happens as these students start to leave, start to move course, start to move to other universities, drop out, complain? If we as academics cannot accommodate our students and the diversity within our student bodies, we create a world where our roles become obsolete. Because it is our role, that is the most important part of our role, to support, to grow, to encourage our students, to get them to the end of their courses. If we're not able to do that, what are we there for? I think the landscape is changing. It's been changing. But I don't think people have caught up to that yet. I think people still feel very secure. They come from a time where you worked till retirement, you got your £25 gift voucher and your Rolex watch. Thank you for your 40 years service, 50 years service, whatever it was. Your loyalty has been seen. Go on, enjoy your retirement, take your pension. That is not the world we're living in anymore. But so many people have not yet realized this. And they're still engaging in ways that would suggest that they think that they have some kind of upper hand, the power. I am learning so much within this role, but I'm also losing so much within this role. I lose time, I lose energy, I lose sleep. And I'm currently trying to decide whether I want to be 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line, even 1 year down the line, feeling disillusioned like some of the people that I have had the pleasure of speaking to in recent times, had the pleasure of learning their perspectives. Do I want to be in that position after giving of myself my energy, my time, my brain? Do I want to be used as a tokenistic, performative representative of Black women, of the global ethnic majority women within my space? I'm understanding my limitations, and my limitations are not from a lack of ability to manage these situations. They're not from a lack of desire to make positive change, but they are from a feeling of, I don't want to be extracted from. I don't want to support a system that doesn't support me. I don't want to see the toll it has on students who experience these challenges: discrimination, inequity, disparity, awarding gaps. I don't know that I want to be a part of a system that allows that creates that. I can't say whether the system is broken or whether it is working exactly as it was designed. And for all the change that people claim that they want to see, action speaks so much louder than words, to staff and to students. So yes, bear with me as I process and reflect. But every week there is some new thing to process and reflect on. And these things take me away from myself. They take me away from my family, my very small children who need their mommy to be present, engaged, happy, healthy. And so, yeah, I'm just at a stage where I am querying my next steps, whilst also understanding the importance of visibility within this space, within academia, but also within my profession. So hold this space, watch this space, come with me on this journey. If it resonates, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your personal experiences have been. Have you worked within academia before, or education in general? What do you see? What do you find? How sustainable is it for you? Is it impacting your health, your well-being, your mental? And how do you cope? Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Stay regal in real life.